Welcome! This is NS, the main railway operator in the Netherlands. In this video, we'll explore its fascinating origins, growth, challenges, innovations, and what trains look like today. Whether you're a tourist or curious about Dutch railways, sit back and enjoy the ride. It all began nearly 2 centuries ago. In 1837, King William II supported the creation of the first railway company, the Hollandse ICNG Spoorweg Maatschappij, HIJSM for short. 2 years later, on September 20th, 1839, the steam locomotive De Arend made its maiden trip, running from Amsterdam to Haarlem at about 40 kilometers per hour, pulling 9 carriages. This success sparked a boom. Between 1840 and 1860, companies like HIJSM and the Nederlandse Spoorwegen Maatschappij built dozens of railway lines. A government-led project called the Spoorwegnet emerged around 1860, aiming to connect towns across the country with a mix of state and private investment. By the late 1800s, the Dutch railway network was dominated by 2 giants, HIJSM and the Maatschappij tot Exploitatie van Staatsspoorwegen, known as SS. These 2 companies ran most of the national rail traffic. But by the early 20th century, challenges began to surface. World War I hurt profits and forced companies to cut costs. HIJSM and SS began cooperating in 1917, and eventually, the Dutch government stepped in to unify operations. In 1938, the Dutch government officially merged HIJSM and SS into one company, Nederlandse Spoorwegen, still known as NS today. Although NS became state-owned, it was not technically nationalized. Instead, the government bought out private shareholders. Soon after, World War II struck. Under German occupation, NS was forced to build and operate train lines to camps such as Westerbork, transporting thousands of Jews to their deaths. The only major resistance was a railway strike during the Hunger Winter of 1944 to 1945. After the war, NS played a vital role in rebuilding the Netherlands. The trains were needed to move both people and goods as the country recovered from war damage. From the 1950s onward, the Dutch rail system modernized rapidly. Steam engines were phased out in favor of electric trains. Electrification actually began in 1908, but by 1958, most of the main lines were electric. During this era, iconic train models such as the MAT 54, also called the Doghead, and the MAT 64 became symbols of Dutch rail travel. However, the 1960s brought new competition. More people began driving cars, and airlines grew more popular. NS's revenues dropped, and the company needed to adapt. In 1970, a new plan called Spoorslag 70 was introduced, reorganizing the timetable and boosting intercity services. The plan helped, but did not solve all of NS's problems. In the 1980s and 1990s, reforms driven by the European Union pushed NS to separate infrastructure from operations. In 1991, NS created Rail Infratrust, now known as ProRail, to manage the tracks and stations. At the same time, NS formed separate branches, NS Reizigers for passengers, NedTrain for maintenance, and NS Cargo for freight services. Later, NS Cargo merged with Deutsche Bahn's freight division to become part of DB Cargo. The early 2000s brought instability, resignations, strikes, and confusion over privatization. But in 2002, new leadership refocused NS on its main task, transporting passengers reliably and efficiently. In 2006, NS introduced a new timetable model based on clock face scheduling. This made it easier to connect with international trains and simplified journeys for commuters and travelers. Today, NS operates around 4,800 trains each day, carrying over 1.1 million passengers. This makes the Dutch rail system one of the busiest in Europe per capita. NS offers 3 main services. Sprinters are local trains that stop at every station. Intercity trains are faster and only stop at major stations. And Intercity direct trains use the high-speed HSL Zuid line between Amsterdam and Rotterdam. These require a small supplement fee, usually around €2. In 2023, NS introduced the Intercity Nieuwe Generatie, or ICNG. These high-speed electric trains were built by Alstom in Poland and can reach speeds of 200 kilometers per hour. They are more energy efficient, more comfortable, and are gradually replacing older intercity trains. The ICNG has been nicknamed WESP, meaning wasp, because of its sharp nose and striped design. NS also serves international destinations through its NS International Division, launched in 2014. NS International partners with other train companies to connect the Netherlands to Belgium, France, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. This includes high-speed Thalys and ICE trains, as well as the overnight nightjet service to cities like Vienna and Zurich. NS is also investing heavily in technology. Conductors now use smartphones and portable scanners. Train drivers use apps like TimTim to optimize train speed, saving energy, and improving punctuality. In stations, travelers can check real-time updates on screens or use the NS app in multiple languages. Ticketing is simpler than ever. You can buy tickets from machines in the app or online. You can also use an OV-chipkaart, a reusable travel card for trains, buses, and trams. Recently, NS also introduced contactless payments. You can now tap in and out using your debit card, credit card, or smartphone. The fare will match the price of a standard second-class ticket. NS offers several discounts and season tickets, including options for students, seniors, and off-peak travelers. If you travel frequently, these subscriptions can save a lot of money. Of course, not everything has gone smoothly for NS. One of the biggest failures was the FIRA high-speed train project between the Netherlands and Belgium. Launched in 2012, the V250 trains built by Ansaldo Breda were plagued by technical issues and delays. After only a few months, the service was cancelled and the entire project was abandoned. This led to the resignation of NS's top leadership and a public investigation. Another controversy came in 2013 when NS was found to be moving profits to Ireland through a tax structure. This led to public outcry and parliamentary intervention. The Irish company was eventually shut down in 2019. In 2015, NS faced a serious internal scandal. Its subsidiary Abellio, which operated in the UK, was accused of manipulating a tender process in Limburg. The incident led to resignations and investigations, and NS lost trust from parts of the public and the government. The COVID-19 pandemic brought more challenges. Ridership dropped by over 90% at one point, and NS had to rely on government subsidies to keep trains running. Even in 2023, passenger numbers were still recovering, and staff shortages led to reduced services on some routes. Despite all this, NS remains an essential part of Dutch life. The company continues to adapt, investing in cleaner trains, better digital tools, and more reliable service. From steam locomotives in the 1800s to sleek, high-speed trains in the 21st century, NS has helped shape the Netherlands. Whether you're heading to work, school, or on a trip to explore tulip fields, chances are you're riding with NS. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this deep dive into Dutch railways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Safe travels and tot ziens!